From crazy stories about Suge Knight to the evolution of the 50 Cent. In the world of hip-hop, the dynamics of power and influence often shape relationships and interactions between artists and industry figures. But the good thing is, by the end of it, you will be very well aware of how the music industry functions. Here is the story of 50 Cent reveals all on Suge Knight. Let's get into it. 50 Cent was well aware of the shifting dynamics, particularly the diminishing aura of Suge Knight, a once feared and commanding presence. Back when just the mention of Knight's name made people quiver, 50 Cent appeared unfazed by his scary rep. This led to sparking rumors that Suge might have set his sights on 50 Cent because he didn't back down in fear as others did. There were several instances where his attempts to intimidate 50 Cent became evident. One such infamous incident was during the filming of a music video in a club, where Suge made an uninvited appearance, seemingly attempting to intimidate 50 Cent and his crew. Not to mention, this happened during a time when 50 Cent had aligned himself with Dr. Dre, a move that didn't go unnoticed by Suge, given his history with Dr. Dre and the fallout between the two. Apart from that, there were whispers going around that 50 Cent's music, especially his track Ghetto Quran, which peeled back the layers of the New York underworld, had drawn some heat and unwanted attention his way. Potentially from influential figures like Supreme, leading to speculation that Supreme might have orchestrated the attempt on 50 Cent's life, especially considering the adverse consequences 50 Cent faced in the aftermath of the song's release. But here it's important to note the story behind Knight's persona. The roots of Suge Knight's intimidating persona can be traced back to his imposing physical stature and his notorious past. His own accounts revealed a dark history, with tales of his involvement in bullying and theft during his teens, eventually culminating in his aggressive and often violent behavior as the head of Death Row Records. Stories of him resorting to physical violence to settle disputes, even to the extent of inflicting severe beatings and orchestrating abductions, painted a terrifying picture of his ruthlessness. Suge Knight, supposedly pulling strings behind attacks on major players like Dr. Dre and Eminem in the music biz, added another level to how folks saw his readiness to go to extreme lengths. Reports and witness accounts made it clear how far Suge was supposedly ready to push to keep his grip on power in the music game. They spilled beans about his bold moves to twist and steer situations in his favor, giving a peek into how much he allegedly meddled in the careers of artists under his wing. Not to mention, a major incident went down during the heated reunion of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Suge's supposed meddling caused a seriously tense and risky showdown. The incident showed the volatile nature of his influence and the potential ramifications for those who crossed his path or challenged his authority. The implications of Suge's alleged involvement in orchestrating attacks on other famous rappers were not unknown to the hip-hop community, sparking concerns about the balance of power and the potential repercussions for those entangled in Suge's circle of influence. Suge Knight's actions really threw a shadow over how the music scene operates, as the details of Suge Knight's alleged involvement in high-profile altercations and disputes continued to surface. The persistent speculation surrounding his capacity for extreme measures heightened the air of apprehension and unease within the music industry. The incidents involving Dr. Dre and Eminem were examples of the depths of Suge's alleged potential repercussions for those who found themselves at odds with his formidable influence. Suge's impact on how different artists' careers went is an important part of the complicated story of the hip-hop world. It's something that everyone in the industry remembers and thinks about. Given the history of Suge's aggressive behavior and his alleged involvement in orchestrating attacks, it's safe to say that he may have also played a role in the attempts on 50 Cent's life. While the evidence remains largely speculative, the stories and accounts surrounding Knight's actions suggest a pattern of intimidation and violence. Suge Knight's alleged animosities transcended mere physical altercations, delving into the realm of manipulative tactics and secret attacks on others. Rumors swirled regarding his alleged exploitation of his influential network to undermine the careers of those who didn't want to bow in front of him. Knight might have been involved in messing with the release of 50 Cent's inaugural album Power of the Dollar, and then the termination of his contract with Columbia Records, highlighting the far-reaching scope of Suge's sway and dominance in the music industry. Word on the street within the industry was all about his strategic game. After all, his strategy was strong. It was like he had this plan, using his connections and serious pull to hold back anyone who might mess with his top dog status. He wasn't just playing around. He was playing hardball with folks who could potentially challenge his authority in the game. The alleged obstruction of 50 Cent's debut album and the subsequent fallout only went on to highlight the dire consequences of crossing paths with a figure as influential as Suge Knight. The implications of Suge's suspected interference in the trajectory of 50 Cent's career provided a compelling narrative of the high-stakes power play inherent in the cutthroat world of the music industry. Within the complex ecosystem of the music business, alliances, rivalries, and power dynamics intermingle to shape the trajectory of artists' careers. It's believed that Knight definitely had something to do with putting 50 Cent's career on a bumpy road. When the curtain started to peel back on what Suge Knight was supposedly up to, it became clearer just how much power he had and how far he might have gone to keep his status intact. The more they dug, the more it seemed like he'd pull out all the stops to hold on to his authority in the game. The rumors and accounts of Suge's behind-the-scenes actions painted a vivid picture of the precarious tightrope that artists were often tied by. The climate of fear surrounding Suge Knight was not confined to individual accounts or hearsay. The collective sentiment within the hip-hop community was quite the same everywhere. Even today, many artists, including 50 Cent, claim that Suge wanted to kill him along with Dr. Dre. Coupled with documented incidents and testimonies, everything makes us want to believe what the rumors say about Knight. Even though people aren't sure how much he was really involved in all the troubles, most people in the music world still felt scared of him and thought he might do extreme things. As hip-hop kept changing, people started asking tough questions about who had the most power. Artists and people who worked in the industry struggled with how to deal with the risks of going against powerful people like Suge. Even if things have started to get better, people still remember how scary and powerful Suge Knight was during his time in hip-hop. Despite the passage of time, the speculations and accounts surrounding Suge Knight's involvement in various controversies and confrontations continue to captivate the imagination of those seeking to understand the intricate dynamics at play within the music industry. This creates a lasting feeling of fear and caution for anyone trying to make it in the music business. People are itching to know what Suge Knight pulled off with big names like 50 Cent. It's a wake-up call about how risky the music biz can get. The more we find out, Suge's hardcore rep teaches us just how tough it is to take on the big shots in hip-hop. What are your thoughts on the speculation surrounding Suge Knight's potential involvement in the attacks on 50 Cent and other artists? Feel free to share your side in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.